Good evening, Pastor and Mrs. Smith. It is my honor to introduce to all of you Reverend Jasper Williams, Jr. He was born in Memphis, Tennessee on July 22, 1943, the first of 4 children to Reverend Jasper Williams, Sr. and Mrs. Alice Stewart Williams. His father was the founder and pastor of the Lane Avenue Baptist Church in Memphis, where Pastor Williams began his walk with Christ and was nurtured in the Christian faith. As a 6-year-old boy, Pastor Williams preached his first sermon, continuing the family legacy of Williams' preachers, including his grandfather and his uncle, who were also pastors and preachers, in addition to his father, is noted. As Pastor Williams has testified, my father was ridiculed to the utmost because he has allowed me to preach. Nonetheless, for over 62 years, Pastor Williams has remained true to his calling and has been privileged to preach all over the world. On Easter Sunday, 1963, as a 19-year-old young man, Jasper Williams, Jr. was invited to preach at the Salem Baptist Church on Martin Street in Atlanta, Georgia. The congregation was so moved by his eloquent and anointed preaching that they extended the call to him to become their leader, which Pastor Williams graciously accepted, officially becoming pastor of Salem in November of 1963. Pastor Williams has now served over 49 years as a senior pastor of Salem and has led the church, which now has a membership of over 10,000, to grow spiritually and expand the scope of its ministry to impact the metropolitan Atlanta community spiritually, socially, politically, and most of all by the outstanding preaching and pastoring gifts of Pastor Williams. As one of the most sought-after preachers in America, Pastor Williams is the recipient of many awards, such as the Reverend C.L. Franklin Masters Award and the Martin Luther King Humanitarian Award. He has been honored as a preacher, theologian, and recording artist by the NAACP, the Gospel Music Workshop of America, and Pastor Williams has received honorary doctorate of divinity degrees from Miller University and Temple Bible College and Seminary. Jasper Williams, Jr. is a devoted father of 2 sons, Jasper Williams III, pastor of the church in Gwinnett County, Georgia, and Dr. Joseph L. Williams, who serves as pastor of Salem Bible Church. So please join me as we all welcome Reverend Jasper Williams, Jr. Thank you.
Thank you. Come on, boy. Come on up, come on up. Come on, come on, come on. Test, 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 test. Come on up, come on up, come on up, come on up. Come on up. Way up. There you go. See. I got a feeling everything is gonna be all right. Whoa, everything gonna be all right. Whoa, everything gonna be, it's gonna be all right, be all right. Yeah, I said I got a feeling everything is gonna be all right. Whoa, everything gonna be all right. Everything it's gonna be all right. Yes, I know I got good religion. I didn't get it in no dream. Oh, shake me, wake me in the midnight hour, and I'll tell you everything I've seen. I'm trying to tell you, I got a feeling everything is gonna be. Hallelujah! Everything gonna be everything it's gonna be all right. You got it. Yeah. Fix me, Jesus, fix me. Come on and fix me if you please. But if you can't fix me while I'm standing up high, bow down on my knee, I'm trying to tell you, I got a feeling you got it. Everything is gonna be hallelujah. Everything gonna oh, got a feeling everything gonna it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. May not have a job. Things may not be going well. Trouble all in your home. Gonna be all right. Gonna be all right. All right. Gonna be all right. All right. It's gonna be all right. Be all right. Be all right. Wow. I'm all right. Well, I know I'm in the right place. I can tell by the way you all have church. But I'm in the right place at the right time. Thank you so very much. Wow, y'all can some good musicians. Excellent musicians. And this choir. And mostly special, our honoree here today bought a lot of, pulled the bass up a little bit and even it out with the treble. Give me a little more volume here. I want to say, first of all, that I'm happy to be here this afternoon in this service where you honor your pastor. Wow. 25 years, and I have been selected to be the silver preacher for this occasion. Is behooving to me. I want you to know that this is an honor that I do not accept grudgingly or take it to be minute in any form or fashion. I want to thank him for himself, for his love and his heart. I'm here, he doesn't know why, but I'm here because of his heart. He is one of the most giving men that I have ever been privileged to know. And I'm honored to share this roster and this platform on your behalf and your lovely wife, gorgeous lady. Amen. I'm happy to be here. Reverend, thank you and Mrs. Smith for this invitation. Another big applause for our honorees. All of the expressions that I have sat and listened to, I have been moved by. One that I have been tremendously moved by was to hear our white brothers and sisters who are here spattered throughout this audience today. Your presence here is not taken lightly by me. I'm happy to see you here because obviously this is the way it is supposed to be in heaven. When we sit and talk about all of the mess and the junk that the media brings us about the Trayvon Martin and George Zimmerman situation, we must get beyond Trevon. And the only way that we can do that is be together. There must not be racial lines. The only way we can commemorate the loss of life of Trevon and the way that things went down is that as a people, we must see, forgive, move. Our white counterparts must see, forgive, and move. We're all riding this planet, so we either going to have to ride fighting or we ride getting along. I say it's time for us to ride getting along. Those of you who are here and you've taken the time to come and to honor our honoree, we appreciate your presence. Amen. On today. Board, if this is the best you can do, I'm kind of doomed, but we'll move right on. I'm going to do my best, you all. Out of this 12th chapter of the Hebrews, I want to talk about this Christian race. From the 12th chapter of Hebrews, verses 1 and 2, you find the following words. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Carrie Harris, I'm happy to have you, my son in the ministry, been a part of my life for a long time, back in the 80s. Thank you, and all of our preachers who are here. For a few moments, let me draw your attention on this occasion to this old race, is what I want to talk about for a few moments. Repeat after me, the Christian race. The Christian race. The great Olympic Games had their beginnings upon the mountain called Olympus. At one time, the Greeks thought that Mount Olympus was the tallest mountain in all of the world. Wow. They felt that it was the center of the world because the height of Olympus, along with the roughness of its terrain, made the early Greeks believe that it was the home of all the gods and goddesses of Greece. In an effort to honor their gods, once every 4 years, Greeks from all parts of the Grecian province would congregate there so as to run foot races in the honor of Zeus, the father of all the gods and goddesses of Greece. And when they would run, it was obviously this in mind when the author of this part of the Hebrews penned the words of our text, wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin that does so easily beset us. The stadium is jam-packed. There are people sitting close to the track field. Yonder is Caesar sitting in the emperor's box upon an ivory throne with the scepter of power and authority in his hands. Obviously, ambassadors and courtiers are bowing down at his feet. There is a lone athlete running from one end of the field to the other end where the blood sacrifice has been made. He dips his hands into that blood and swears that he has kept all of the training rules. He swears that he is morally pure and clean, and that he will run this race fairly, cleanly, observing all of the rules as an honored athlete. He promises that there would be no cheating and impropriety on his part. And so he goes to the starting line with one word in his mind: win, win, I must win. Three things about this one verse and a half that I'd like to lift for a few moments, if I may. One, I want you to see the spectators in life's race. Secondly, I want you to see the discipline or strategy of life's race. And then lastly, the strength for life's race. Point one, the spectators in life's race. Here it is in verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, it says. The inference here is that the saints and prophets of old are sitting in the heavenly grandstand. He has just finished writing about God's not hall of fame, as some people may reference it to be, but actually God's hall of faith. Because all of the people that he has talked about lived their lives by faith. And so here he is obviously saying that these are they who are watching us as we run this old race. So he connects chapter 11 with chapter 12 with the preposition wherefore. Seeing we are compassed about, meaning that there is Abel sitting in the grandstand. Yonder is Abraham and Enoch. There is Noah, Sarah, Isaac, and Jacob. There is Joseph, Moses, Rahab, Samson, David, and Samuel sitting in the grandstand. These are the spectators that are in the Christian race. Point two now, the strategy of life's race. Watch. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, here is the strategy in the B clause. It says, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. The strategy is threefold. One, life's discipline. Two, the direction of the race. Three, the determination of the race. Strategy. A, the discipline. Here it is. Lay aside, listen, every weight and sin, he says, that does so easily beset us. In other words, we as Christians have got to have a certain discipline about our lifestyle. There are some things as Christians, as children of God, that we simply cannot do. That's what he's saying. In other words, there are some places as God's children we cannot go. There are some words as God's children we cannot say. There are some things as believers in God that we simply cannot do. We've got to be able to reach down on the inside as believers and pull up change and exercise the discipline to lay those things aside. When he says weight, what is a weight? A weight is something that is not in and of itself bad, but it slows you down. It's nothing wrong with running the 100-yard dash with an overcoat on. Nothing is bad about the overcoat. It's just that the overcoat slows you down as you run the race. So it may be somebody in your life who is a friend, and that friend is a harmless individual. But what the writer is saying is that if that friend stops you from maximizing your life for Christ, you've got to lay that friend aside. That's what he's saying. It may be some ambitions that you have. You may be involved in some activities that are harmless. Oh, it's not harmless, Pastor. Is it harmful for me to have my cocktail? No. If it's not stopping somebody from coming to Christ and from looking at you as though you're not a Christian, you've got to lay it aside. So let me ask you before I go another further, is there a weight or are there weights in your life? What is your weight? Is it some friendship? Is it a job? A hobby? Your man? Your woman? If it keeps us from maximizing our lives in Christ, we got to lay it aside. And then he goes on, still under the caption of discipline. He says, and sin. Wait, listen to what he says. And sin that does so easily beset us. Lord have mercy. Sin. This Greek connotation of sin is very interesting. The implication is that of something very stuffily and craftily wrapped itself around us. It's like a runner running with a robe around his shoulders that falls to his waist, and then falls to his hips, and then falls to his knees, then get around his ankles so that his strides cannot be lengthened and he cannot run with the leverage that he needs to run. That's what he's talking about. Weight, sin. See, weight, sin. What is the weight? The weight, and what is the sin? The weight slows us down. The sin trips us down. See, that's what he's saying. Lay aside that which slows you down, and lay aside that which trips you down. That's what he's talking about. Sin that does so easily beset us. See, we as Christians can't fool around with sin. Got to treat sin like sin treats you. Sin doesn't never treat us mercifully. Actually, sin treats us merciless. It cares nothing about us. I found this scheduling of writings about sin I'd like to share with you, if I may. Listen, if you please. My name is Sin. I entered this world without a passport. If you dibble and dabble with me, I'll make a schoolboy forget his books. I'll make a beauty queen forget her looks. I'll take a renowned speaker and make him a bore. I'll take your own mother, turn her into a whore. I'll make a school teacher forget how to teach. I'll make a preacher not even want to preach. All kinds of people have fallen under my wing. Just look around at the results of my sting. I've got daughters turning on their own mothers. I've got sisters robbing their own brothers. I've got burglars robbing the Lord's house. I've got husbands pimping their own spouse. I'll make you rob. I'll make you steal. I'll make you kill. When you're under my power, you'll have no will. Well, now that you know, what will you do? Remember, my friend, it's all up to you. Help me, Holy Ghost. If you decide to jump into my saddle, you better ride me well. Because on the black horse of sin, I'll ride you straight to hell. Strategy. There must be discipline. I feel pretty good, Reverend. I'm so glad you invited me. Lay aside every weight and sin that does so easily beset us. Listen, if you please. Any religion that does not change you You need to change your religion. Walking around talking about I'm the same. That's what's wrong. You the same. You the same now as you were 10 years ago. Same. Lord have mercy. You got to be able to say, well, I'm not all that I want to be. But thank God I'm not what I used to be. Got to be by sin like sin is by us. Listen, if you please. Still under strategy now. B, direction of the race. A was discipline, and now is direction. Listen. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us. See, this implies that every believer who runs the Christian race has his or her own individualistic race to run. Don't be worried about what I'm doing on my race. Mind your own business. Run your own race. That's what he's saying. The Apostle Paul stayed on the racetrack. Paul's course was an unusual course, but he ran his course. Paul was shipwrecked once, stoned twice, beaten thrice. When he got down to the end of his race, looked back and said, I fought a good fight. Finished my course, my race. I'll run my race. Listen, if you please. God has a plan for my life. God has a plan for your life. The question is this: do you know God's plan for your life? Do you? Talking about purpose-driven life. Do you know your purpose? Do you? Do you know God's will for your life? Or are you on the sideline wasting time? Which one? If your life is trapped today within the walls of addiction, and you're trapped to a thing where you say, I quit, I'm not doing it anymore, and go to bed, and it starts calling your name, and you get up and do it all over again. You are on the sideline wasting time. You ain't got to say, man, I know I'm preaching. If you're being somebody's codependent right now, you're on the sideline wasting time. If you're in a relationship that's ending up in a dead end, every time you think you're getting somewhere, you're right back where you started from. You are on the sideline wasting time. If your life has come to the place whereby it is totally unmanageable, you don't have control, you're on the sideline. How do you know, preacher? I'll tell you how I know. The reason I know about this is because for a whole decade, 10 years of my own life, you're not looking at no angel here. 10 whole years of my own life, I was on the sideline wasting time. People coming to me talking about, oh, you're a great man. I heard the introduction. You heard it? Sure, I'm 70 years old now. Second Sunday in November, been preaching to the same congregation 50 years. Next Sunday, been preaching 63 years. Folk want to talk about what I'm doing and how great I am. Well, I'm doing at 70 what I should have done at 60. But the reason why I didn't do it, I was on the sideline. Wasting time. I wish I had a witness in here today. Running this old race is about one thing and one thing alone: doing God's will. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else but God's will. That's all. You got to be able to take your life, make it a blank sheet, sign your name at the bottom and give it to God and tell him you fill it in. Because I know one thing: the faith of God will not take me, while the grace of God will not keep me. Strategy for the race. Discipline, I told you that. Direction, I've given you that. Thirdly, the determination. Still here in verse 1. He says, listen, let us run with patience. I said, sit down and rest yourself. I'm coming on in a minute. He says patience. Touch your neighbor, say patience. When he uses the terminology patience here, he's not talking about running the race with the mindset, I'm waiting on God. He's not talking about sitting back with a folded arm and crossed leg, waiting on him. No, patience here suggests endurance, perseverance. What the old folk used to say, keep on keeping on. That's what he's talking about. Those runners back in the Greek times ran for Zeus because they would not stop. Their lungs would be on fire, but they would not stop. Their feet would be blistered under the bottom, but they would not stop. Their sides would be aching. Their heads would be throbbing. Their hearts would be pumping, but they would not stop. You can always tell the size of a Christian by what it takes to stop that Christian. When I look at 25 years here, we obviously have somebody in 25 years that has one epitaph: Holt and Sister Holt just will not stop. Why don't you bless God for our honorees? I'm just about out of here now. You see, the blessing comes by you enduring. You want a blessing? You need a miracle? Are you wanting a breakthrough? Anybody here need an anointing? It comes when you keep on running. You keep on pressing. So all of you wimps who are in here today, all of you always mumbling and grumbling, whining and complaining, you testify in devotion. Well, I can stand the storm. I can stand the rain. And time a little wind blow, you fall all out. Quitter. That's what you are. You quit chicken. Big old yellow stripe. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, cry if you must, but don't you quit. You say, why? Because winners never quit. And quitters, you got it. Last of all, and I'm going to get out of here now. To review, spectators in the race, wherefore seeing we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. Strategy of the race. Determine the discipline, lay aside every weight and sin that does so easily beset us. Direction, run this race that is set before you. Determination, patience. Run holding on brings me finally now to where it says the strength for the race. It's in the 8th clause of verse 2, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. Looking unto Jesus. There's a difference in looking at Jesus and looking unto Jesus. You see, when you look at Jesus, that's fact. You look unto Jesus, that's faith. See, the main difference in living by faith over and against living by fact is when you live by fact, that means that you see everything but know nothing. But when you live by faith, it means you see nothing, but you know everything. So, my brother and my sister, as I leave you here today, thank you for the invitation. I'm going on to my seat. You don't have to do nothing till I tell you. Just stay right there. So as I leave, I want to tell you a story that I remember hearing, and I'm out of here. One day there was this great runner. This man had won all kinds of races. This young man had won every local, statewide, international laurel as a runner. One day while he was touring over in Sussex on the continent of Europe, he looking into the showcase window, there stood behind him an old man. This old man, you understand, had white hair with furrows had been plowed in his face. And I heard him say to the young man, aren't you that young runner who I've heard so much about? Though the young man said, yes, I guess I'm he. The old man said, well, I'd like to challenge you for a race. The young man looked at him and said, how in the world can you, as old as you are, want to challenge somebody who's as young as I am, who has all of the victories at their feet as I've been privileged to have? And how in the world can you come along and say that you want to run along with me? And the old man said, well, if you're not afraid, come on and run with me. My God, and they found themselves a track down the ways a bit. And they got them a timekeeper. And that timekeeper told them, on the mark, get set, ready, go. Oh, Lord. And they started out, and the young man said, I'll run in my usual graceful style. And employing all of the skills of a runner that he was able to employ. Oh, Lord. And they went around the first lap of the race, and when they started going around the second lap, well, I heard the young man saying, this old man is still by my side. Oh, Lord. And when he got around almost to the second lap and started coming along to the third lap of the race, I heard him saying, it's time now for me to leave this old man, because he's still here close to me, and he's right on my trail. Oh, yes, he is. He started out and then said, I'll put on a little more speed. Oh, yes, he did. But as he ran, the old man put on a little more speed. My God, as he stretched and strained a little harder, well, the old man was still right by his side. Oh, yes, he was. But then when they approached the last lap of the race, and when they were coming along toward the finish line, did you hear what I'm saying? I heard a young man saying, this time I'm going to give it all that I have. Yes, I am. He strained every muscle, and he strained every nerve he had. And just as he was about to cross the finish line, yeah, the old man crossed before he did. And the old man won the race. Yes, he did. I heard a young man saying, Mister, who are you and what is your name? I heard him say, well, you know who I am. You just don't really recognize me. No, I'm the same man who met Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Did you hear what I'm saying? I'm the same man who met Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Did you hear what I'm saying? I'm the same man who met Jesus up on Calvary's hill. Yes, I am. My name is Death. Did you hear what I'm saying? My name is Death. And now I've outrun you. Yes, I have. As I leave you here today, I'm going on to my seat. Yeah, death is on all our track. Did you hear what I'm saying? I don't care how well you're getting along. Death is on our tracks. Yes, he is. Soon one morning, oh, y'all don't hear me. Did you hear what I'm saying? Soon, one of these mornings. Soon, I wish I had a witness. Soon. Did you hear what I'm saying? Soon. One of these mornings, death. I wonder if I got a witness here. Will come creeping in all of our room. I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far. I don't believe it. I don't believe. Yeah. This whole race, are you going to run on? I said, are you going to run on? If you're going to run on, let me hear you today. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Oh.